Welcome to Company Showcase, an advertising feature on HowStreet.com.
I'm Jim Goddard. I'm speaking with Larry Reaugh, CEO and President of American Manganese. Welcome back to the show, Larry.
Jim, great to be here.
Larry, how is the coronavirus affecting American Manganese operations?
Well, naturally, markets affect any company that trades on the exchanges. And so that's negative. But another way that it affects us is we were going to be speaking at a conference in Washington State in mid-month, and that has been canceled. And I can see that happening everywhere. It makes people reluctant to travel and reluctant to put a group in a room and where you could spread the virus. So I can see that, people that plan these conventions and are probably pulling their hair out because they've spent hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars setting up a conference. These are bigger ones, not the one like in Washington State, but they still have spent a lot of money and effort to put this conference together. And, and there's going to be a lot of cancellations that I can see coming up, and that's going to hurt the industry somewhat. With emails and with the internet, you can still carry on a lot of business like we can. We're still getting a lot of interest in what we're doing, but getting out there and telling the public about it is going to get tougher and tougher over the next couple of months. But we've got a great story. We've got some big ambitions here. We're going to be starting to look probably predominantly in the U.S. for the siting of our first plant when we finally get that thing financed, and get our designs and everything else, which I think will certainly help the financing abilities of it. But we've got to start looking for a location, and it's going to depend on a lot of things. It's going to depend on the environment in the area, what do we have to meet. We're very confident that we can meet the requirements of any environmental study because we have a closed circuit process that puts nothing back into the environment, so that's a big plus for the company. And so that's one of our goals that we're starting to work on. And if anything comes in the near future, we'll be talking about that. And we've pretty much are getting close to completing the testing that we're doing for the other Tier 1 company. And I would hope that we'll be announcing the results of that very soon. So that's another big positive for the company. We're arranging to travel to the Netherlands to meet with our potential or our MOU partners, and I'm just hoping that nothing interferes with the schedule on that. But that is also a dicey area that. International travel is going to be really very restrictive, and it could be harmful to your health. So we have to think about those things. We don't want to send people into areas that may, affect their health, or result in sickness or death. That's one of the things that concerns every company out there. Like, for example, the PDAC had about 10% drop in the number of attendees, but the attendees I talked to figure it was much greater than that because one of the big tells at the PDAC is that you always had to line up for about 10 minutes to get an escalator to move between levels. And at this latest conference, you could walk right up to the escalator and go up and down. So that tells you there was a very big reduced amount of attendance at that conference. And this is going to, kind of go throughout the industry. There's probably going to be, as I said earlier, there's going to be cancellations of some of these conventions. And but aside from that, we're looking at a very positive picture going down the road, and the battery shortage that's occurring right now because of this, not just because of this, it was actually happening before the coronavirus, and so that's affecting the production of EV cars, so you'll see a pullback in that production, but that, in my opinion, is temporary. And the mining.com has come out with an index on the critical metals that are involved in the lithium-ion battery space, so that people can follow the prices and everything else that are going on, and look at the charts and see that the chart is looking excellent. So that's a big plus, because otherwise people were kind of in the dark on how do you evaluate the amount of critical metals that go into a battery, and what are they worth. And what I want to remind people of is that when we first looked at that, the price of the metals were all in much lower than they are today, and it still looked robust to us at that time, and that's why we decided to proceed. Not only for the environmental benefits, but if you can't make money, you can't work with the environment. So that's one of the big things off of our shoulders. I see that even though people like to criticize me for talking about predator trading, there's 2 videos attached to this podcast that talk about predator trading, and it's not me talking about it. And I encourage people to look at them and see exactly what I've been talking about for the last 6 or 7 years, and which is now going mainstream, especially with the Save Canadian Mining effort that's going on, and that's what these videos are all about. But I'd like to remind people that when you don't have a uptick rule or a short rule, that it affects anything that trades on the Canadian exchanges. It's not just mining. So the outlook is good, and I see that GM is coming out with a new battery that will challenge the 390-kilometer battery that Tesla uses, although I don't see how that's going to affect sales for either one of them, and because the GM battery has to be commercialized and tested, over a few years before it becomes mainstream. But I don't think 10 kilometers is going to be a big incentive for Tesla to beat them. But I know that Tesla is always trying to get more kilometers, more miles out of their batteries. And all these things are very good to us, for us. And, the rigs for setting standards for batteries is something that should be put up there. I mean, China is talking 98% recoveries, and which is very similar to what we talk about. And but at least it's a goal point for you. And I think that this is something that should be adapted in Europe and North America. Certainly, we fit that bill, and that would help us in our endeavors, and and we've got patented processes. I keep reminding people of that. Those patents are the real value in the company, and that's what's something that they should realize. The Cametco has just finished up a big job, which was 10 to 20 times larger than ours. And so now they can start focusing on some of the stuff we're doing, except for the the testing work that we've continued to do. And then I hope to have some results from that, such as a costing for doing a preliminary economic evaluation, and for maybe running the pilot plant again at full capacity, as Norm says, until it chokes. And so I'm looking forward to that. So we've got a lot of things on the plate, and we're just trying to keep ahead of the game. And the coronavirus has happened at a bad time, but if it was going to happen, it's probably going to be over with, hopefully very soon, and we can move on.
Larry, for people new to American Manganese, what's the company all about?
American Manganese, critical metal company that has several patents, and the first patent was on low-grade ores, which is going to be crucial to the United States, critical to the United States at some point in time, and that was a cornerstone of our technology for lithium-ion batteries. We moved quickly on that, and thank God we did, because now we have that process patented, and it's a mining process that was developed over 80, 90 years, and we completed that circuit in 2010. So it's a company that is focused now on lithium-ion battery recycling. We've got good results on that. You can go to our website and look at all of the reports that we have on there, and the transparency of everything that we've done. We're not trying to hide anything behind anything, and these are not results that were achieved by some lab people working out here in our office. It's something that was arm's length, so we've got their arm's length reporting on that, and we still have a lot of interest in that. We trade on the Toronto Venture Exchange under the symbol AMY. We trade in the U.S. under the symbol AMYZF. And we trade in Frankfurt under the symbol 2AM. Our website is AmericanManganeseInc.com. And you can reach the company by emailing me at LREAUGH@AMYMN.com. Or you can phone the company at 778-574-4444.
Larry, thank you so much for the update.
Thanks, Jim.
I've been speaking with Larry Reaugh, CEO and President of American Manganese. I'm Jim Goddard. Our conversation took place on March 6th.
Comments made on Company Showcase are an expression of opinion only and should not be construed in any manner whatsoever as recommendations to buy or sell any financial instrument at any time. Archived online at HowStreet.com. Company Showcase is a production of How Street Media Incorporated.